test of our progress is not whether we add more to abundance of those who have much. It is whether we have provided enough for those who have little. Good morning and welcome to Equa Television on the show Nigeria Now. And with me, I have Lois Turaki on the show.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lois. How are you doing?
I'm better. And you?
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm just a little under the weather, but I think I'm getting better.
Receive your healing.
Amen.
Yeah. With the nature of weather here in Jos Plateau State, Nigeria, it has been rain, back to back. So the weather is not really, really friendly. You need something warm to add up to what you are wearing to keep yourself warm. So I believe
just be prone to the weather.
Yes.
Well, we thank God for strength. Every day you wake up and then you know that God is with you, and it's really refreshing.
No, we give God the glory. Thank you for joining us. Remember, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. You can join us and do well to drop your comment based on what we are discussing today. Today, we just want to look at minimum wage. How it is in Nigeria and what is obtainable globally.
After a series of meetings with the Minister of Labour and Employment, that was on the 23rd of October 2019, it was agreed that all the states in the 36 states, including the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, should start paying the minimum wage of 30,000 from the 18,000 minimum wage that was being paid before now. And then we have seen that there are still some states that default of that, that have not. I don't know why they haven't, but then it's rather unfortunate that this thing has been enacted and then it's not being adhered to by some of the states, because we've seen that a lot of things have really gone high, like the inflation rate and all of that, talking about the economy and all of those things. So it was going to be helpful. I think I like the opening that says we should provide enough for those that have little. Those that have little are really suffering it right now. And so adding the minimum wage was something to at least to augment people's salaries and all of that. So it's just unfortunate that some of the states have not commenced payment.
But looking at it this way, it is mandatory because already it's been signed by law.
Yes.
The National Assembly passed the minimum wage bill on the March 19, and then it was transmitted to President Muhammadu Buhari April 2nd. With this law, it means that it is compulsory for all the states, in the federation, including Federal Capital Territory, like you said, to pay that amount. But like you said, but there are exceptions to those that have less than 25 workers under their payroll. They are being exempted. That means you can negotiate and say, okay, the law is not applicable to me. So whoever you are employing at that moment, that means you can negotiate and say, this is how to go. But for the state, local government, and then that means it's compulsory for them to pay that 30,000.
Yes.
But like you said, before we look at states that are already implementing this law,
yes,
we can quickly look at what is obtainable globally. I think that will help.
Well, there's a report here that says the value of basic food products for the healthy living of an adult in a month at the beginning of 2022 stood at 40,980. That's higher than the basic minimum wage of 30,000 in Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
So like that, even that 30K, let me use that, like we usually use it though. That 30,000 naira is a little below what an average adult in Nigeria should spend in a day. Like, so, but then, like you said, we should look at what it's obtainable globally. Before I go into this paper that I have something here. They say in 10 out of 64 countries covered, the minimum wage rates have not changed compared to the preceding year. Then this include Armenia, Hong Kong, Israel, Malaysia, Nigeria, Slovenia, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, and Peru. It is said the highest increase in the minimum wage was recorded in Montenegro, a Balkan country neighboring Serbia. Then the country increased its minimum wage by 102% at the beginning of this year. That's 2022. Argentina is second with a net up 54.4%. Turkey has 50.5%. Kazakhstan has 40.9%. Saudi Arabia has 3.3%, and Hungary has 54.2%. And then Nigeria is 55th in this report. Then another minimum wage around the world, that's this one that I have. Nigeria is the third lowest of it has $73 as the based on dollar rate. Yeah, $70. And then we have Luxembourg with the highest, which says they have $2,194 as their minimum wage. They are the highest in globally now. So at least I think that is obtainable in their side. That if, let's say compared to what we have in Nigeria, that 40,000 naira is what an average adult Nigerian should spend. Then I think that should be well enough for them to spend in that part of the country. But around this side, that 30,000 naira, it's really not feasible.
Yeah, but looking at it from the angle of the law, this is the law of the land.
Yes.
And then the law says, and this law was signed April 2019. That is when it was signed into law. And since then, you know, we see some states like saying they can't afford to pay minimum wage of 30,000 for their workers, simply because they complain about, number one, the IGR of the state, and then the subvention that come from the state. And then when you look at it, would you say it is visible what they are saying, that it is true that states cannot pay 30,000?
Based on the research, it isn't true that states can't afford. We are a wealthy country, for God's sake. Like, I really commend the federal government for bringing up this thing up, to add the minimum wage from that 18,000, because it was so low that they brought it up to 30,000 naira. And then it was expected as a law that these various states in this country should be able to commence payments of that particular amount. And then we have seen that some of these states have failed to do so because they claim they don't have the money. If the country knows that they don't have the, I don't think they will enact that law that every other state should do that. And so that's why Ayuba Waba, the president of NLC, has said, if in your state you have not been paid that money, you should take it up. Go on strike, or you go to the court, and then, because it's a legal case, and then they know that all the states have the capacity to pay. So why are they not paying? You know, like, there were states like Kaduna, Kebbi, Lagos, and Adamawa that have begun the payment since 28 December 2019. They have been paying that that particular minimum wage. And then in January 2022, the NLC identified Zamfara, Taraba, Benue, Kogi, Cross River, Abia, and Imo states as those states that have not yet implemented that minimum wage, as in adding that the situation is a gross violation of our constitution. So, you know, it's an offense already for you not even pay that money in the first place.
Okay. So looking at it, if you look at, we are looking at the promises that these
Government.
governors, you know, made during campaign promises. And then when you look at it, and then you find out a governor is coming out to say he cannot pay salary in his state, and then you begin to imagine, is that person capable to lead the state? Because it's one of the things that you are supposed to do. Number one, obey the rules of the laws of the land. So by that, it will tell you that even the governor of a particular state that cannot implement that, it shows that he is not even worthy to be a governor. Because number one, that's the law of the land that say, by law, this is what is obtainable.
Yes.
And then you find out sometimes, I think the problem is the way resources are being spent. These politicians, that's when you find out they have aides that they don't even see them. They are just there. That's when you talk about the issue of ghost workers. And if you remember, one of the reasons why Ayuba Waba was mobilizing workers against states that states they can't pay the minimum wage is that the question he asked, the aides of the governor, the special advisors, the commissioners, name them. Do they normally collect their salaries or not? And if they do, the number of aides that you have, is it supposed to be like that? Like somebody is having 50, 100 special assistants. You name them all.
And
sort
all
of
these
names.
people, it's not like they are really doing something. At the end of the day, when you go into this thing, you see that they are not even productive, but they receive that huge amount of money for, and then you cannot pay salaries. Like seriously, look at the issue of Kaduna State, that thousands of teachers were
Over
removed
2,000, yeah,
from the
teachers.
system, and then it was said they were not paid. I remember that time that the NLC president came out and had this protest in Kaduna State about the payments and all of that. My aunt was affected by that, and today both her and her husband, they are not even working. So you can imagine the kind of struggle that particular family, and there are so many others like that, like them, you know, struggling. You had a job, just all of a sudden you were taken out of the system, and then even your money that was supposed to be paid to you is not being paid. Like, how are you supposed to feed? How are you supposed to feed yourself and then the children that you have in the house? You know, at the end of the day, you find out all these vices going on in the country or in the community because of that kind of hardship that has been imposed on such people.
It is really quite unfortunate for some state, and I feel the leaders have to deliberately look into this. You know, sometimes it's not that there is no they can't pay, but it's just that they put the resources in the wrong place. And then, even though I know in the part of NLC, there's this complaint about government that some of the states, you find ghost workers, people that are there in the payroll, and then
they're not working.
They are not working, and then government is spending money, and they said, okay, if that's the case, you can help us clean up even the payroll. Let's know how much we are spending on salary. Let's know the people that we are spending this money on. Because if you look at it from the side of the government and the side of the labor, and sometimes I said, okay, if you said you have ghost workers, you know, you are complaining that you do pay money that you don't know where the money is going, simply in the name of ghost workers. And then I said, okay, who put those names there? Yes, you asked that question. Definitely those names doesn't just appear.
Of course.
You know, we have permanent secretaries in even all the ministries, you know, that oversee all of this issue of administration when it comes to things like this. Then you ask, how do those names come about? And then how can we clean the system? Because that's where judiciary now comes in.
Yeah.
Because it is very important to know that how possible those names appeared, and then who is responsible. Then charge the person and do what the law says concerning people like that. I feel it will help. But sometimes you find the government are saying no, either is because they are shielding somebody, or because one shady thing or the other.
You know, I feel if that person you're trying to shield, if the person has the proper qualification for that person to be in that particular place, then I don't think it's a problem. The reason why they are trying to shield all these people is because they know they don't even have the capacity to be in that particular place. And so they are trying to see how they can shield up, protect that person from being taken out of the payroll. But it's not helping, because other people that are being productive, they are not being paid what they are supposed to, you know. So it's really sad. You know, the issue of ghost workers is really something that has been eating deep into the system. The government, the different, what will I call it now? The different, not parastatals, sectors of the government, you know, it has eaten deep into it. And then it's really good if the right authorities will look into that issue and see how those things, the payroll can be cleaned up. Remove all these ghost workers. If it need be for them to go back to school and get certificates, proper certificate for them to have the proper documentation to be in that system, then they should go and get it. I know that so many of these places give opportunity for people to go and improve themselves. You'll see from a particular ministry, maybe the person started from security or a cleaner, but the person took advantage of the place that he or she is, and you go to school to obtain maybe a diploma, a HND, a degree, and all of that, and at the end of the day you see the person progressing to even the level of director. We've seen that happen. So why not encourage that person you're trying to shield to go and get the right papers, so that at the end of the day, when it comes for cleaning up, that person will not be out of the system. That's what I feel.
Well, it is very important if the government will do the right thing, particularly the agency that is responsible for checking up things like corruption. You know, we have the ICPC, you have the EFCC. You know, they are responsible for that. If that's the reason why some states will say we are not implementing because we are not even sure of the workers that we are paying, okay, why not clean up the system so that the government will even know that this is the exact people we are having. And it will surprise you that even some states will even pay more than that. You know, just for recent, you know, the governor of Edo State, you know, have given a directive that the minimum wage in the states will be 40,000 naira, which is kudos, and then we pray that that will be sustained. You know, because because we have even some states that are viable that can even pay beyond that, but it's just that they are not even sure of the payroll, and that is why you have all of this back and forth with NLC, but we thank God, Sharp, because the issue of protest, you know, has gone down when it comes to issue of minimum wage. But if you look at it carefully, you'll find out that now people are not really finding things easy. People are really struggling, and there are some states that are even owing, whether local government or state at the local government level or at the state level, some 2-3 months, you know. And with the situation that is happening, you know, in this country, things are not really funny. But having said that, I think the issue of minimum wage is not the main thing, because if you look at where our sources are coming, is not really directly from you can't say the pay that you are taking home is the one that is sustaining you. You will see God playing in it, And then it is very key, it is very important that we should acknowledge that God is the ultimate ultimate provider.
Like, I feel even if you are being paid a minimum wage of 100,000, I think it's still God that is sustaining.
Or 1 million.
Or 1 million. It's still God that will sustain, because sometimes you might even get that much money and at the end of the day, you don't even know what you spent it on. So it's not all about us having the money. It's about God blessing it, you know. That's why the Bible says, whatever you find your hands to do, do it well, to the best of your knowledge and best of your ability, so that the Lord will bless the works of your hands. So even if we talk about minimum wage being added or being reduced or whatever, at the end of the day, you see that you're living even above whatever it is that you're receiving, which is something that we need to thank God for. You just sit and wonder, where is all this money even coming from? It's the grace of God. So still, it's not... we always have to give thanks to God for that, because he has been faithful. He has been faithful. And you know that in the issue of Zamfara, earlier you said there were some governors that said they can't pay. But then from a report says from Zamfara State that they were unable to meet the governor to talk to him, because you know the president, that's the NLC president, said any state that they have not implemented this, they should go and meet the right people, that's the governor in this case, to see how they can talk and then implement. But it was seen that the state recently distributed 260 cars to traditional rulers in Zamfara State, as well as sponsored 97 clerics to Saudi Arabia on lesser Hajj for prayers against banditry. Okay, so if you have so much money to be able to do all these things, that I think pays workers their wages. Like it is mandatory. It's mandatory. Even if he knows the Bible or not, I'm telling him now that it's mandatory. You need to do what is expected, because first, it's even in the constitution of the country, and we hold the constitution above any other thing, except if you're just being wicked unnecessarily to your workers, then you should be able to pay them this minimum wage.
I strongly agree with you. You know, that's the reason why I said earlier, you know, is the issue of priority. You know, some of them is not that they can't pay, because when you look at their convoy, you know, you will know that yes, every day you spend millions and millions and millions of naira, you know, just servicing convoy alone. And then you talk about other things. We talk about even the aides, you know, around them, those that, some of them that till they finish their tenure, they won't set their eyes on them. You know, they are just there, and then people are just collecting money, doing nothing, like you said. I feel if we channel our energy to doing the right thing, you know, even the masses will enjoy. It is very, very important to know that this thing, by law, it is mandatory, it is compulsory. So you breaking the law shows that you are not even capable to lead.
And you're irresponsible.
That's just it. That's just the translation. But I feel that the government will do the right thing. Those that are not paying, for those that are paying, we will say kudos. And for those that are receiving money without you know, doing anything, just have it at the back of your mind that this cost is a cost, you know, because you have to earn it. You have to work for that money that you are receiving. And then for those that cut corners and then manipulate even the payroll to tell you that judgment awaits you, because anyone that doesn't do the right thing, definitely God will judge you. And then 99 days, they said, for
the thief,
a thief, one day for the owner.
Okay, before we go, I want to just say this. According to Trade Union Congress President, that's Kadri Olaileye, he said states in the country are capable of fully implementing this new minimum wage if only they are godly, prudent, and have the interests of the workers at heart. And I fully back that. You have to be prudent, you have to be godly, and have the interests of your workers at heart. That with that, it will not be difficult for these things to be implemented.
Thank you, Lois. But before we go, let's just take this comment from Yusuf Moy Zakaria Badinjo. Forgive me if I didn't call the name correctly. He said, good job. Thank you for sending your comment. We really appreciate that. May God bless you. And thank you for staying with us. And I think we should round up. Yeah. Just remember that whether you are being paid the right wages or not, just do your part. God is watching. And I believe the ultimate reward comes from God. Thank you so much for staying with us on Nigeria Now at Equa Television. See you tomorrow, same time. Bye-bye, and God bless you.